My kid has ADHD, he's having trouble understanding consequences and boundaries, or he's just getting in trouble all the time. How do we handle this? Let's watch and see. Welcome to the ADHD fam. My name is Sharon. I'm a neurotypical wife and mom living in a neurodivergent household. I am excited to help y'all improve your parenting skills. Let's get started. Kids and teens can have trouble understanding consequences and boundaries due to poor self-regulation, meaning they have trouble with impulse control, emotional regulation, and reading social cues. The way out of this is to implement a good parenting system and be consistent. We're going to go over our system here in a few minutes, but let me just stress the importance of consistency here. It may seem like it's not working. It will. It takes up to 30 days to get into a habit for an adult. So for those who are neurodivergent, it might take a little longer. You might feel like you're discouraged. Be consistent. Keep doing it regardless of if you have a good week or not. Okay? So let's get into it. I got this system from parentingtodaysteens.org. They have tons of helpful resources, especially if you have a tough kid. They have a lot of experience in dealing with quote unquote difficult teens over the last 20 years. They are religious based. It's not really ADHD specific, but I found the resources incredibly helpful. One of the resources that we did was implement their parenting system, which is reworded as a belief system. It's called the Garcia Family Belief System, where we put our values as parents and created rules and consequences around those things. So the rules are technically boundaries. It's not just, I'm trying to control what you're doing. No, these are boundaries in place to stay sane as a parent, to know that you have a role in this household and you need to maintain that role, just like we do as parents. This is our Garcia Family Belief System. I did have it printed out because my son likes to go and look at it if he's forgetful or if he's questioning me as to what his disciplinary action should be, which has happened a couple times. He also feels reassured having it there. My daughter hasn't really needed to use this yet. She's more of a hyper-focused, hyperactive kid. My son's more impulsive, so of course this is more defined for him. So, how do you create this system yourself? Number one, figure out what your family values are. Get together and figure out what your moral values are and what you want to instill your children before they go into adulthood. Number two, take those values and create rules, aka boundaries, around those values that you want your children to follow, respect, and understand. Number three, create consequences for if they break those boundaries or break those rules. The consequences need to match the crime. What I mean is, if they put a hole in the wall, you're probably going to want them to fix it, and you're going to ground them for a week. There's no need to shout, yell, get reactionary. They need to understand that they are capable of fixing the problem and that there are consequences when you follow your impulses. It's very important that they understand that this system is in place to help them become successful adults, not because you want to see them fail. Grounding them for an entire month, hooting and hollering, makes them feel like they're failing you. It's important that you're supportive and you do the best you can. Number four, go over the system as a family. Explain why it's in place and explain its importance. It's designed to help you grow up to be a functioning adult and to help you manage your ADHD symptoms. Explain that. If you just put these rules in place and don't explain anything, they're like, oh, just them trying to control my behavior. No, this is in place to help you. Okay, and before we wrap up, I got some bonus material because some of you all asked me how I get my kids back on track. So my daughter is homeschooled. I usually set timers to get her back on track. For example, the other day she was having trouble finishing her essay, so I put a timer for 10 minutes. She did it quickly, neatly, and raced back to turn off that timer. Then I gave her a break. When you give them breaks, make sure you set a timer so they're mentally aware, and if they get focused on something else, they're able to realize the sound, oh, it's time to get back to work. It's very important that you set a timer so you don't forget either. If the timer's not working, it's okay to invoke consequences. I tell her to get back on task or she's going to lose a day of privileges over the weekend. I want to make it clear that we don't give our kids smartphones or smart devices. My son had one. It created a lot of problems for us, a lot of yelling, lecturing, and just nothing good came of it. We switched him to a minute phone. It has been extremely life-changing. I don't recommend smartphones for kids with ADHD, especially if they're impulsive. leave a comment below and let me know what your point of view is on that. I'd love to hear what you think. As for my daughter, and we keep her tablet out of sight, out of mind until Saturday, Sunday. So Monday through Friday, my kids do not get any kind of tech except television, of course, to kind of unwind from their overstimulating week. But if you make the tech special, if you keep it out of their line of sight, they won't hassle you about it. They will get what they need done because they want it. It's important that you keep a reward system of some sort in. Just to remind you, do not give them tech every day after they finish their work. No, you need to consistently, which consistency can be a problem with those for ADHD, you need to consistently finish things, finish your chores, no principal calls home, finish your homework, do what you need to do, eat your nutritious food, and then at the end of the week, all that hard work gets paid off with an allowance, game time, going and doing something fun. It's beneficial that you let the feeling build so that when they get to that point, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine for your dopamine chasers. They have a great weekend. They're ready to go for the next week after that. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm sorry if I dragged it along. This is my first long video in a long time. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want to see anything else, and I hope you have a great day.